All right, everyone, welcome. Are you ready to really get to grips with one of the biggest topics for your government exams? We are diving deep into political ideologies. This is one of those areas that can really make a huge difference in your results. Understanding this stuff is your ticket to walking into that exam hall feeling totally prepared. Hey, I'm Hamed, and I have one simple goal today, to help you nail this topic and get that top grade. In this session, we're going to take these big, complex political ideas and break them down into simple, powerful points that are going to earn you maximum marks. So, let's get right into it. Capitalism, socialism, communism, fascism. I know. After a while, all these isms can start to feel a bit confusing, right? But stick with me. I promise you, by the end of this, you won't just know the difference. You have a clear game plan for any question they throw at you. We're going to master this together. Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics. We're going to break down the 4 core isms that are pretty much the foundation for everything else. If you can get these right, everything else is going to click into place. First up, capitalism. Just think about the shops in your town or the company that made your phone. The big idea here is private ownership. That means individuals, not the government, own the things that make stuff. The factories, the land, the machines. And what's their main goal? To make a profit. For your exam, you need to burn these 2 phrases into your brain: private ownership and profit motive. Now let's flip that coin and look at socialism. This is pretty much the opposite of capitalism. So instead of private individuals running the show, it's the state or the whole community that owns the major industries. And the focus? It totally shifts from individual profit to the good of the whole community. Things like social equality and public welfare. So, your key terms here are state ownership and social equality. So, where does communism fit all this? Well, according to its most famous thinker, Karl Marx, communism is like the theoretical final stage of socialism, the ultimate goal. Just try to picture a society where there's no government, no money, and no classes. Everything is owned by everyone and shared by everyone. That central idea of a classless society is a golden phrase to use in your answers. And finally, we've got fascism. Now, this one's a bit of a different beast. It's less about who owns the factories and more about raw national power and identity. Fascism is all about extreme nationalism and the total unquestioned control of a single powerful dictator. Any kind of opposition is completely crushed. The words you absolutely have to remember here are extreme nationalism and dictator. Now, this comparison table, this is your secret weapon for essay questions. Seriously, just take a second and look at the clear differences. Ownership, private individuals for capitalism, the state for socialism, the main goal, profit and competition versus social equality, and the government's role. Basically, hands-off in capitalism versus very hands-on with regulation and planning in socialism. Getting these distinctions down is exactly how you score top marks on an essay. Alright, so you've got the theory down, that's great. But now for the real test. Let's see how these ideas actually pop up in real WAEC past questions. This is probably the most important part of your prep, so let's really focus in. Okay, let's break down this WAEC objective question. A political system in which government controls every aspect of citizens' life is... Now that phrase right there, every aspect, that's your giant clue. This isn't just about politics or the economy. It's about controlling personal beliefs, art, family, literally everything. And that is the textbook definition of totalitarianism. So D is our answer. Here's a classic short answer question from WAEC. List 3 features of fascism. Now, for a question like this, you need to be sharp and to the point. No long stories, just hit them with the key words. 1. Extreme nationalism. 2. Total government control. 3. Dictatorial leadership that crushes any opposition. See? Clean, concise, and that's full marks right there. Now for the big one, a major essay question like distinguishing between capitalism and socialism. Here, structure is everything. You can't just throw facts onto the page. You need a clear path. Start with your first point on ownership, then you move on to the motive, the why behind each system. And finally, you talk about the level of government control. Using a structure like this shows the examiner you have a really deep, organized understanding of the topic. Okay, Let's switch gears and look at JAMB. Now, the topics are exactly the same, but JAMB questions often really zero in on those specific definitions and key phrases. Let's look at a couple of examples so you can see what I'm talking about. Here's a question straight from the 2021 JAMB exam. The political ideology that advocates a classless society is... The second you see that phrase, classless society, a little bell should go off in your head. Ding, ding, ding. That's your trigger phrase for Karl Marx and communism. It's the absolute core of his vision. So C is the only possible answer. Let's do another one. A political system in which the state owns and controls the major means of production. Again, just focus on the keywords. Who's the owner here? The state. That is the fundamental definition of socialism. It's that straightforward. The answer has to be B. Now, this question is great because it tests where these ideas actually came from. It asks for the precursor, the starting point for communism and socialism, and that would be Marxism. Just remember, Karl Marx was the thinker. His theories, which we call Marxism, laid the blueprint for the political systems that came later. So, B is our answer. Last but not least, let's take a look at some questions from Nico. You'll see that the concepts are the same, but sometimes Nico might use slightly different phrasing, so it's really important to pay attention to the details. Let's get into it. Take a look at this Nico question. Hang on, does this look a bit familiar? It's super similar to that WAEC one we just did. An oppressive system that controls all aspects of society, like religion and personal life. Once again, the key is controls all aspects. This just goes to show you that different exam bodies are testing the exact same core ideas. The answer is clearly B, totalitarian. Here we have a nice simple definition question. Define anarchism. This ideology is all about the complete absence of government. Anarchists believe government is harmful and unnecessary. The single most important phrase an examiner is looking for is the abolition of the state. If you get that in your answer, you've basically guaranteed the marks. Oh, I love these case study questions. They're like little puzzles. We just have to find the clues. Okay, clue number 1, replaced all private property with public ownership. And clue number 2, the ruling party controls what is grown and the prices. So that's total state control of the economy. You put those two clues together and it points directly to one thing, communism. Fantastic work. Seriously, you've seen the core definitions and more importantly, you've seen how they apply to real questions from WAEC, JAMB and Nico. So let's wrap it all up with a quick final revision and some powerful tips to take with you into that exam hall. This slide is all about giving you some brain hacks, some memory shortcuts. So if you're in the exam and your mind suddenly goes blank, just use these. For capitalism, think cash and private hands. For socialism, remember social means we share. For fascism, connect it to force and national pride. And for communism, think commune means everything is common. These simple ideas can help you instantly get back on track. Okay, let's lock in these final exam tips. These are golden rules. 1. Always use the official keywords we've talked about. 2. In any essay, the first thing you should do is define your term. It shows the examiner you know what you're talking about right away. 3. When you can, use real-world examples. It adds so much depth. And finally, and this is a big one, don't confuse totalitarianism with a regular dictatorship. Totalitarianism is about control over private life too. If you can master these 4 points, you are showing the examiner true mastery. You have done an absolutely excellent job today. Keep up practicing with these ideas. If this session was helpful for you, please do me a favor. Like, share, and subscribe for more lessons just like this one. And for thousands of extra practice questions to really get you exam ready, visit our website at www.examkey.com. Keep up the great work. You've got this. Your A1 is totally within reach.